What's up, y'all? We are back with more ZVT action. It is, of course, the only Terran player in existence, the Teal Terran B breed, going up against one of many Zergs, Timbo Slice. So it has been a while since we have seen any 1v1s. Now, Timbo, of course, does stream from time to time, so we do have a pretty good idea of how he plays, what kind of form he is in, and well, it's the same as he's always been, not spending his money, not producing his mutalisks, kind of the same old Timbo. A B breed, of course, he does not stream, he does not know how to, or he just hates us. I'm banking on the latter, but he does play once in a while. I'm not really sure how he does. I'm not always checking his win rate or his match history, but from the past, from what we have seen from him, his ZVT or TVZ is quite good. And so I do favor him slightly in this matchup. However, these guys are not just playing the opponent's race, but they are playing the opponent, period. They are quite familiar with each other, and let's see if there are any mind games involved. Both players going for relatively early expansion. B-Breed's going to be getting his factory right away. Overlord going to poke in for a scout, so Timbo going to be aware of that factory and that expansion at least. Doesn't poke in to see the gases, but he should have a good idea that there is one. Reaper going to delay that third base just a little bit. I do typically want to see that third base a little earlier, and B-Breed not hanging around to deny it further, so Timbo is going to be able to throw that down. Only losing a few seconds on that base. I would have actually liked to see that Reaper just hang around and delay that further. Doesn't really get too much scouting done anyways. So kind of a waste there. And of course, Timbo's speed is chugging along. He's producing extra queens. He is mining more gas now, so I would anticipate a layer shortly after. And no micro on that Reaper is going to lose it to these 4 slow Zerglings. And behind this, B-Breed just producing Marines 2 at a time. Kind of interesting move there, producing a reactor instead of swapping it over. Most of the time you will see Terran players swap it just to get that double Hellion production a little bit quicker, and I mean he's not even utilizing that at the moment. Getting double upgrades. That's the stim and combat shields. And what is this out of Timbo? Going for a little bit of aggression, but not fully. This is kind of just like one of those half and half things. But this might work out because B-Breed has no wall. That is a fault of his in a lot of his TVZs. And so he is going to pay a hefty price for that this game. And 7, 8 maybe? No, he could have gotten that 8th one, but doesn't. So 7 SCVs going down. This is a nice little catch from Timbo. And of course he does have this Overlord, so he spotted that, and I think that was a nice little reaction from him. Although I think if he fully committed to that, he might have just been able to end the game right then and there. We did see him make a swell of Zerglings and then go back to droning. And typically, I like to see players go for one or the other. I am not usually a fan of the half and half kind of thing, but it's kind of a safe medium, I guess. And so Timbo snagging a little lead there. I'm going to fly in with this Overlord. Spots pretty much the entirety of the Terran main base. He sees the Marine count. He sees those Widow Mines. So Timbo, with a lot of information now, going to start making Zerglings. And 1,000 minerals in the bank. What is he waiting for? Well, now he is supply blocked. And, of course, Lair did complete not too long ago. He has that Baneling Nest. Does he have speed? I want to wager no, because Timbo forgets that all the time. And no, he only has Zergling speed, so no Baneling speed. Let's see if that comes back to bite him when B-Breed goes for his attack. And no layer tech just yet. No Spire, no Hydralisk Den, no Infestation Pit, no Nidus Network. So, kind of weird. Why go for the lair if you're not getting anything? But there is that Baneling speed. Thank you, Timbo. Is it going to be too late, though? Because B-Breed is moving out. And so Baneling speed not going to be done for this attack. 1-1 on the way as well, but that will not be done either. So a lot of stuff coming for Timbo, but it's not going to be ready for this attack. And he's going to need to pull off a very clean defense here. Got to be careful of these Widow Mines. Oh, no! Oh, man, that is brutal. And I think I might just call it. I mean, that one Widowmine hit was so massive. We do see B-Breed's army supply is quite a bit bigger than Timbo's. And let's see if Timbo can pull this off. He's gonna need some miraculous Baneling hits. Centrifugal Hooks does finish now, so he is gonna have that. And okay, not too shabby. B-Breed is forced to pick up, so he doesn't lose everything, but he does have to evacuate. And that was definitely not the damage he would have liked to achieve. The drones were largely untouched. Only a little bit of damage on this hatchery, and yeah, Timbo's in a okay spot now. I might have been a little too hasty in calling that after that one massive Widowmine shot, but good patience from Timbo, waiting for that Baneling speed to finish. Now his 1-1 upgrades are going to kick in as well, and that's going to put him at a significant advantage for the next fight. He does need to pre-make some Banelings, however. And does he have vision of this army? He does see the edge of it, so he needs to prepare. But no Banelings, only 4 morphing in right now. And that's going to be a little bit dicey. 2-2 upgrades on the way as well. Those are not going to finish for this fight, but Timbo still has the 2 upgrade lead, and that's going to help him immensely. Of course, that doesn't really help against Widow Mines, and no, not when you just run your Lings into the meat grinder like that. That was not the fight you want to take. And now B-Breed kind of wedging himself in between these 2 evolution chambers. And GG gets called. Oh my god. I thought Timbo was in a great spot, but he took an awful fight there. Not enough Banelings, and B-Breed going to take game number 1. Welcome back. This is game number 2 between the one and only B-Breed and Timbo asking for a pause, probably turning on the stream so he can stream cheat. Keyboard, yeah, sure, that's what they all say. I keep pinging my hatch. I think the ping hotkey is Alt. Alright, gonna resume. Let's see what happens. And his opponent, the Red Zerg, Timbo Slice. Timbo saying he messed up his build, and indeed it looks like he droned up to 14 before he made the Overlord. Actually, I'm not entirely sure, but that's what it looks like because you don't typically have 3 larvae when that finishes. And B-Breed asking if it is a mind game. We do see that he did mess it up slightly, but not going to be hugely impactful. It does throw down the 17 hatch and 17 gas, I think. B-Breed claiming that the mind games worked, but his build largely unchanged. So B-Breed going for the double mind game. So we do see these two players playing each other. And I do expect much of the same from B-Breed. Bread and butter. Opening with the Reaper. He's going to be getting his orbital command and most likely going to be dropping his expansion shortly. He does have 400 something minerals and okay, yep, going to drop it in his main. Kind of curious because he does usually put it on location. Wondering if that's just a little precautionary move. But Reaper gonna be roaming out onto the map. And we do see that Timbo has expanded. He does have 100 gas for the speed, but not going to be getting... Okay, there we go. A little bit late on that, but not going to be the end of the world. The Reaper is going to get 1 Zergling. That's a nice little catch. Might get the second one. No, Timbo pulls it back. Might get a drone. No. He could have targeted and got the drone, but decided to run away from the Lings. That's a missed opportunity. Getting that drone would have been huge, but it is more important to save the Reaper, so at least he did that. Timbo getting 2 additional queens. He does like to favor the creep tumors with his initial 2 queens. I don't mind this hugely. I personally go for 1 creep tumor and 1 inject usually. But getting that head start on the creep spread, not a bad idea as well. And oh, Reaper does get that 1 drone. Does lose its life though as it floats off into the abyss. And we do see units lost. Wait, where's the... There we go. 1 drone, 1 Ling for 1 Reaper. So, fair trade, I would say. The Reaper does cost gas. And B-Breed, he has landed his natural orbital. And Timbo does have vision of this. He's going to retreat his Overlord back to the safety of this little dome thingy-mabob. And he does see the lack of wall once again, so curious to see if he goes for another aggression. But he does start up 6 more drones, so probably not. And indeed, B-Breed doing the same thing as he did last game. Timbo gonna scout that. Did he spot this starport? Yeah, he did see it. Now, did he click on it? That's the question. But he should have a pretty good idea that this is going to be a similar build to what he encountered last game, which is what we are used to seeing from B-Breed. His pretty stock standard Zerg killer build. Gets that armory so he can morph his Hellions into Hellbats, and of course that also causes his Widow Mines to remain invisible after they fire. And I don't know the exact timings for this push, but I think he gets like 2 medevacs maybe? Or does he go with 1? I'm not too sure, as this armory is about to finish. Timbo is starting his 1-1 earlier, but no Baneling speed started just yet. And that's gonna make things a little dicey once again. But he did make it work last game. Let's see if he can do it again with his earlier 1-1 upgrades. Medevac going to provide vision to try to get this Overseer, but Overseer's a little bit speedier than Overlord, so he should be able to get away. And this is wasting a lot of time for B-Breed's push. And dropping a little spy as well, so Timbo has full knowledge of when this moves out. He sees it all, and that's going to give him more than enough time to produce a bunch more Zerglings, some Banelings, but no Baneling speed. Why do you do this, Timbo? Why you do this? And here we go. B-Breed has arrived. And can Timbo defend this? His 1-1 about 15 seconds away from finishing. And oh, can B-Breed actually cancel this? That would be absolutely massive. But no, it looks like no. Timbo gonna go for the fight just before it finishes. It does finish midway. And it looks like he should be able to clean this up. Doesn't even need all these Banelings in the back here. And no hot pickup from B-Breed this time. So he does lose the entirety of his army minus the 2 medevacs. And that is pretty massive. Timbo once again with a very nice clean hold without Baneling speed. And still not getting it, by the way. B-Breed doesn't really feel too scared. Going to be dropping his 3rd on location. I would be very scared if I were him. But Timbo not pressing the issue just yet. And of course, I should mention that Spire is done. No mutas on the way. It's typical Timbo fashion. And these Zerglings, not really sure what they're doing. They're kind of just like packed in this little spot here. Don't know why, but kind of a missed opportunity. He should have went for the attack there. Would have been pretty nice pick-off, I think. Could have gotten a lot of that army, some of those SCVs, forced the command center to lift off. Maybe even cancel if he had hit earlier. But too late for that now. I think there's a little too much here. There are 3 Widow Mines, not all burrowed, but still should be respected. Wall coming up. And so things are going to slow down a bit. Timbo's 2-2 about halfway done. B-Breed's 1-1 still on its way. Timbo going for his 4th. And still no mutas. Why? Okay, 14 mutas on the way. All right. All right, finally starts some mutas. No Baneling speed still. And here comes B-Breed going for another attack. This one is quite a bit more fearsome. He's got a bunch of Hellbats with this. His 1-1 is done, so they are on even upgrades for now until this 2-2 finishes about 15 seconds from now. And oh, decent Widowmine shot there. And this fourth base most likely gonna go down. Still no Baneling speed, and you gotta control your Banelings. Don't want to crash them into Marauders. I don't know if there were Marauders in here, but you gotta be careful of the Widowmines. 2-2 is done, so Timbo once again with the 2 upgrade lead. And Muta is going for a bit of a counter attack as well. No turrets, no anti-air back home for B-Breed. This is going to force him to go all in pretty much. Meanwhile, Timbo, he's content to just chill, produce his Banelings, and 1,800 minerals in the bank. What is you doing, boy? And here come the slow Banes. Are they going to find the connections? And yes, that is what he needed to clean this up. 1 medevac does pick up 7 Marines, I think. SCVs have evacuated all the way to the Zerg side of the map. The Mutas still causing havoc in the Terran base. Going to pick off this main orbital. Meanwhile, B-Breed trying to make magic happen with his last remaining forces, but it is not enough. GG gets called in. Timbo going to take game number 2. Welcome back to the third and likely final game of this series between Arteal Terran B-Breed and the Red Zerg Timbo Slice. So well done on the defense in game number 2 from Timbo, despite not getting Baneling speed for pretty much the entirety of the game. It wasn't even done by the end of it. But the Mutas, definitely worth their weight in gold. They absolutely ransacked the Terran base. And we are getting a little bit of cheekiness out of B-Breed. 2 barracks out on the map. No gases back at home, so this is just going to be 2 barracks Marines. But he does get a gas now. It's going to be a little bit too late for Reapers, so curious what that is for. This Overlord is on the way out, and he is going to spot this. So that's going to give Timbo a little bit of heads up. And that is going to be absolutely huge. He can start producing Zerglings right away. He can start saving up money, which he usually does anyways, but That's besides the point. And Timbo wisely moving his Overlord back, so I don't think B-Breed even knows that Timbo knows. So the information game gonna be favoring the Zerg player right now. It does start up a queen and one pair of Zerglings. Should make more. You have the larva, but he starts a Baneling nest instead? I don't know if that's really going to be ready in time. I think he's respecting this a little too much. I think he could have just made like 8 or 10 Zerglings and kind of just stopped this in his tracks. These bunkers are going to get up. And so Timbo kind of making things harder for himself. And he's got to be careful not to overcommit. He did, of course, have to spend 2 drones on the Baneling Nest and Spinecrawler. And there's a lot of missed drones in these Zerglings here. So work account gonna be favoring the Terran, actually. Now these 2 bunkers are up. Luckily they are not in range of the hatchery, so that is pretty huge. But B-Breed fully walling off this area, and that's gonna make getting out very difficult. Of course, that means this Baneling Nest is going to be very helpful. But no Banelings on the way just yet. Timbo kind of just content to chill here. This Spinecrawler, not sure why it's not burrowed. This Overlord, no! Does get away. Okay, I would like to see B-Breed unload and try to go for that. Alright, well. Could have gotten out Overlord, but doesn't. And hello, Timbo, you got a lot of gas. Do you want to make some Banelings, maybe? He has full vision of this containment, so why is he not? I really hope he doesn't try to bust out of this with just pure lings, because that would be not very effective. Alright, and he does start up 10 Banelings. That is excellent. And these building placements, if he goes like right here, he can hit both bunkers. Let's see if he does that. I hope he doesn't go for them one at a time. That would be a mistake. And let's see. Is it time? Here we go. And oh, control little awkward, but he does get it, does preserve 5 Banelings, which can help to take out these Marines, and very nicely done. The siege tank late to the party, gonna get cleaned up as well. Excellent bust out from Timbo, but he is not out of the woods yet. He is down 16 to 22 workers. Let's see if this counterattack can find some damage. B-Breed, you need to close this wall. You need to siege up your tank. Oh! Wow. Just in the nick of time. That would have been lights out for the Terran player. And Timbo getting a little crazy. You saw that tank, right? There's no way a Baneling bus can work, right? Surely. You can't be serious. He is going to clean up those retreating Marines. And yeah, I mean, siege tank, pretty good defensively. I don't see how Timbo could possibly go for a bust. And yeah, it looks like he wisely turns back, starts producing more drones. And so we are going to be getting a normal game from this point on, despite the shenanigans and the tomfoolery of the early game. Timbo now spreading his creep, getting his lair. He is just chilling. Would like to see a third. And Timbo just gonna be posturing over here. Gonna make it so B-Breed can't easily reclaim this base. This siege tank, not really sure what it's trying to do. Just looking for a nice spot to siege up. Kind of like a puppy wandering around on the carpet or couch, looking for a nice spot to curl up. So B-Breed is going to reclaim that natural, and yeah, 3 siege tanks. It's pretty good defensively. I wouldn't want to risk a wonky little attack there if I were Timbo. And Timbo does have his layer now. No layer tech yet once again. No baling speed once again. Oh, okay. Pretty good. No Spire, no Hydrogen, no Nidus. So we'll have to wait and see what it's going to be. Third base finally in production. B-Breed does have his third command center pretty early, so that means, of course, triple SCVs, triple mules, and he is dotting his T's, crossing his I's. That's right. He has his missile turrets in place already. There are no mutas on the way, of course, but B-Breed being extra safe. And Timbo, he did get that scout with the Overseer, so he's pretty knowledgeable about what is happening. And what is Timbo doing? Double expanding. Okay, that's something. 14 drones on the way. That's gonna cut into his bank quite a bit. Still has 500, but does need to. Okay, Spire finally is the choice. And let's see how long it takes for him to produce any mutas. This Overlord, absolutely worth its weight in gold, scouting everything. These Marines moving out just to secure the third, but that might trigger something in Timbo. Maybe he wants to produce units at this point. No, Timbo just kind of chilling on his massive bank, which is fine when you're saving up for mutas. But when the Spire finishes, will he make any? That is the question. Place your bets now. Comment in the comment section. Let's see if he produces any. Now these handful of Lings and Banes still just chilling out here. They do waste a little bit on, I think, just one Marine there. And Timbo kind of overreacting to that single Liberator with 5 Spore Crawlers on the way. Spire is done, and whoa, who is this guy? Instantly makes 11 mutas. Alright, you gotta turn this stream off, Timbo. That's cheating. Liberator probably not going to be able to find too much damage with these spores already in position. He is going to siege up, going to get a couple drones before Timbo reacts, and oh no, loses a queen there unnecessarily. And where are the mutas? They are flying over on the left side of the map, but Timbo did spot the missile turrets from this Overseer. So Timbo should know that his window for mutas is closing. Does fly into the third. Takes out a couple SCVs. Does lose, I think, 1 muta there. But does take out the missile turret. Gonna get a few more SCVs here. Kind of a weird position. Not all of the mutas are doing anything, and the Marines show up. 6 SCVs do go down, and 2 mutas go down. So I think that was actually not that great, but of course mutas can still be useful later on. He's just going to fly home for now. And Timbo with a lot of money once again. His worker count, nothing to write home about. 59 is not that much. Does need to drone up this base. This base could use a little more drones as well. But he is getting his 2-2, getting his infestation pit, which will of course allow him to get a hive. And lots of lings out here in the middle of the map. And only 2 banelings. Does need some more banelings for any sort of attack or defense. So I do hope he makes some more of those sooner rather than later. Creep spread, pretty good. Would like to see it extend up here. Maybe break down these rocks as well so he can more easily defend this base. And B-Breed going for his 4th base as well. And is he going to finally move out for an attack? A lot of Marines here. Now, Timbo making, what was that, 40-something banelings? That is absolutely going to terrorize this heavy Marine force from B-Breed. I don't know why, but B-Breed, not really a fan of Marauders. And that's going to make this very difficult for him. Siege tanks, of course, are super good. But let's see. He needs to siege up. And no, it doesn't. Okay, Timbo not going for it. He does send his banelings out. These siege tanks, they should have been sieged like 10 seconds ago. But thankfully for B-Breed, he doesn't pay for that. And yeah, B-Breed, you got to be very careful with your tank movement and positioning. He is going to move a few up and siege them, and that is not the best siege up. Going to lose those 4 frontal tanks almost for free. These 4 in the back here do repel the Lingbane force. And we've got 1 Thor in here as well. But as I was saying earlier, Marauders would be absolutely huge here. Just to soak up Baneling hits, it takes, I think, 9 Banelings to kill a Marauder. So that is quite impactful. And now Timbo going for a counterattack. I like this move. But I don't know if I would have done everything. That means, of course, he doesn't have anything back home to defend. These mutas are just gonna sacrifice themselves. Alright, losing all his mutas, almost all his mutas, just to take out 1 medevac there. And now Timbo runs home with everything. He did get 19 SCVs for 19 of his own drones as well. And now he is coming out to try to clean this up. I don't like that move because the base is already lost. You have nothing to protect here. You're better off just kind of sitting back and waiting for more stuff. But it was an okay attack there. Neither player really in the clear lead. B-Breed, of course, has a bigger army. Timbo has the more workers, so pretty even right now. But B-Breed venturing out too far from his tanks. What are they doing over here? Huge mistake there from B-Breed, and I think that's going to cost him the game. Why are these tanks just hanging out here in no man's land? That means his main army absolutely got swallowed up by the Lingbane swarm of the Zerg. Now, Ultralisks are on the way. 3 upgrades, moments away from finishing. That chitinous plating also about, I don't know, what is that, 20 or so seconds away from completing. And Timbo running away with this game now. Huge mistake from B-Breed not bringing his siege tanks along for the ride. Let's see if he can stabilize. He is down quite a lot in worker supply. Timbo, though, not too pretty on his worker count either, only at 54. But here are the Ultralists. Look at these. These are the classic StarCraft 1 Ultras. They look so awkward. Look, they're thin little bodies with like a massive head and two blades for arms. I don't know. It looks so weird, but it's kind of cool. I dig it. Timbo rotating around to this third base of B-Breed, who is not in position. Going to lose a bunch of tanks. Just a friendly fire there. And Timbo kind of chasing for a second there, but doesn't really want to engage the tanks. He's just going to settle for 9 SCVs and this base. Going to move on over to this fourth base. Going to ransack the SCVs there as well. B-Breed being pulled apart right now. Tanks once again in the middle of nowhere. I'd like to see Timbo circle back around and catch those, but it doesn't really matter because he is in firm control of this game. Triple expanding now, taking this base, this base, this base. Drone count still quite low at only 51, but that is way more than what B-Breed has. So Timbo, he's got the whole world in his hands right now. 3-3 on these Lingbane Ultras. And going in for another attack. Tanks are unsieged. This is going to be the coup de grace. No, maybe not. I mean, he pulls back. He absolutely could have just won the game there. These Ultras alone could probably do it. And GG gets called. Timbo going to take the series 2-1.